So, you've decided you want to start storing and organizing your Lego collection, and you've gotten yourself some kind of organization solution like these Akro-Mils. There's a couple of different options, but you don't know exactly how to hang them on the wall. So, what we're going to talk about in today's video. Ayo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Grandmaster Bricks. Today, we are hanging some Akro-Mils storage solutions on the wall, and I thought I'd take some videos, show you exactly the way I mount them. I've got a couple tips and tricks, and yeah, just the overall process. There are a few different brands. There are some Harbor Freight solutions. There are some CraftsMan that you can get from like Home Depot and Lowe's, and then there are these Akro-Mils. I've actually had these Akro-Mils for probably over 3 or 4 years at this point. And they've risen crazy in price. When I bought them, they were $27. Now they're somewhere in the $50, $60 range. So I'm not exactly sure what route I'm going to take in the future when I do expand. I do have a little bit more room left in one of these. But that aside, whatever your storage solution is, I'm going to show you how I hang it. There's only a couple things that you need. You're going to need some small, like, doesn't have to be thick. This is about 1 inch and probably 1/4. And you need 4 of them. I'm going to use 4 of them. There's several mounting points in these, and you'll just have to pull them out, find the mounting point, and I'm going to show you exactly how I make that happen. Mine are full of Lego, makes it a little bit more challenging to mount them, a little bit more scary. Don't want to drop them, make any mistakes. But yeah, so let's just jump right into the video. All you really need, like I said, is some of this wood from your local hardware store. It's like $2 or $3 a piece. Not too expensive. You're gonna need a few screws. I like the drywall screws. Tape measure, figure out exactly how much you need. Leveler, because you don't want stuff to be wonky. I have a trick to show you with the painter's tape. It's not necessary. And then the drill. That is everything I'm going to be using today. A very useful tip I will give you is just kind of paint the ends of the wood that you're going to be using to mount, because they will be exposed on the edge. So if you're not worried about it, I mean, it doesn't matter, but gives it a little bit better finish, because just this part is going to be exposed and it will blend in better with the wall. It's just a nice little finishing touch to add. Little tip. These particular Akro-Mils, all of the ones, there's some that are big, all big drawers, some are half drawers, and then some are all small drawers, but they're all 16 by 20. So this is 60 long, and that's exactly what I've cut right here. So that's all I'm going to need. There, like I said, there's 4 mounting points in each one. And so I'm going to have one strip of wood across the top, another strip just below it, and then the 4th one down below. What is interesting and something that you have to think about is where you can mount these on the wall. If you don't have supporting beams in exactly the right place, then you can't get them on the wall. And that is what the wood comes into play for. And so I'm going to actually drill this in probably 3 different locations, and which will actually give me the ability to mount the cabinets on the wood wherever I want. So whether the beam is here or wherever, I'm able to drill the strip of wood in wherever I want. And that way I don't have to worry about mounting it or doing any type of like drywall anchors. And it's easy to line up. Once I have this on the wall, I can mark exactly where I want to go. Like I showed you right here, we've got the spots where screws can go in. And so you're easily able to hang these. And it makes the whole process a lot easier than actually having to mount it on the wall just to mount it to the wood. Mount the wood on the wall and then mount the storage on the wood. Yeah. And yes, you can keep it on the desk like it is here now, but I actually like to be able to roll the desk around, actually pull it out a little farther so I can regain this lost table space, because while building Lego or doing my reviews, just as much table real estate as I can get, whether it's sorting, building, reviewing. So yeah, just being able to mount these on the wall gives a little bit more protection for if you were to bump into this, or if somebody were to hit the table. If these were to fall, I mean, there's so much Lego inside of there that it would be, I don't even want to think about it, an absolute nightmare. But that is another reason why I'm mounting it on the wall, for just to keep it more secure and then to gain table space. You know, if you didn't want to go through all this process, then Just slap them on a table, keep them there, and you don't even have to worry about it and do all of this and mounting and drilling and cutting and painting. But if you are, let's keep the video going. And now that I have these lined up, I'm going to keep it flush right here against the AC. It's just about even with the whole table. I can move the table around freely. And I'm going to take a pencil and just lightly mark where the edge of this is, so I know for my mounting points. And now I can move those, so I know exactly where they are. Probably even do a light one up here, just so I know where the top of them are as well. And yeah, now actually I'm going to show you a cool little tip as well for mounting anything with the painter's tape. So I'm going to turn one of these around to show you. Now that I have this turned around, a good tip for mounting anything that has two holes that are just difficult to measure. That way you don't have to get a tape measure, do all these crazy things. You get some painter's tape. You just pull a whole strip exactly where you need. So there's mounting points in the back of these, in all four. And there's some spots right here. And so you can see where they're at if you did a pencil mark or a marker or whatever. So you can know exactly where they're at. Then you pull this off, and I have to use two hands, so I'm going to pull it off, and then you're going to basically understand. You pull it off, and then you put it on the wall, and you know exactly where your mounting points are. That's not the technique that I'm going to be using today, but that is a very useful tip that I've used many a times for so many different things. So whether you're mounting these Akro-Mils Lego storage solutions, or you just are mounting all kinds of things, this is a really, really helpful tip. So hopefully you find it useful. And now that the wall is clear, I am just going to gently make a mark in the wall so I know roughly where I want the piece of wood to go all the way across, so it can line up with these holes. So now on the wall, it's kind of hard to see. I have rough spots where I'm going to have the wood come all the way across, and that way I know where I want the anchors to go. Alrighty, first one is in. Like I said, as long as there's a beam, we are good. Now that the first row is done, I'm going to hang that. That way I can measure exactly where I want the second row to go, so it can have an extremely tight fit. But that is how the first row goes, just so you can see it without the storage units on it. Okay, next stage is done. I've got the mounting points. I pushed this up against the wall. I marked where the spots are on the wood to mount it. I pulled it up a fraction of a bit. That way it's not fully resting on the table, and that way I can pull the table out. Won't be any interference with that. So let's get all these mounted. Alrighty, moving along. First row is fully mounted. Like I said, that tip of painting the edges so it just looks a little bit more finished. And I'm going to move on to the second row now. And we are approaching the last storage unit. I made sure to make it flush so you couldn't see the wood at the top. Just barely made it. And that's going to about wrap it up. And bam, just like that, we've got our cabinets, our storage units, whatever you want to call them. We've got them mounted and flush. And now it's not reliant on the table anymore, so I can pull that out. And yeah, as I continue to disassemble sets and inventory them, I will continue to expand. I might do some shelves over there. There's a whole studio shed video coming very soon, so keep an eye out for that. Yeah, I used to have a Bricklink store, and now this is just my part inventory for building all kinds of things like that. Because yeah, of my job, I just don't have a Bricklink store anymore. But yeah, hopefully you've gotten some ideas, some inspiration, because like anything in life, it takes a little bit of effort and a little bit of inspiration. So hopefully you've gotten some insight, some education, and enjoyed this video. So Thank you for watching. Keep an eye out for the next video for the studio shed tour. In life and in LEGO, never stop building.